Rob Grimes with Hospitality Tech TV, Host Tech TV, and I'm here at HITEC again in Minneapolis, but sometimes you got to go out of town to meet somebody who's from your town. So I met Dan Berger. I actually read about him this past week in a blog in DC before I came out to HITEC, and then we were sort of semi-seated on the same bus across from each other and saw his name tag, so I thought I'd find out what he's doing. So welcome to HITEC.
Thank you.
And the company is Social Tables.
Social Tables.
And is this your first HITEC?
It is my first HITEC. In fact, we didn't decide we were coming here until 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago. So that's sort of like us. We did the same thing. Well, we knew we were coming. We didn't know we'd be exhibiting on the opposite end of the hall. So, okay, so we were taking a look at some of the technology that you're doing. And you've been a 2-year company.
Yep.
And you got in the wedding planning business.
That's right. So we started out as seating charts for weddings. Basically, a bride or any social planner can go in and create a seating chart for their event. And then people started asking, hey, can I move that table? Can I add a bar? Can I maybe upload my floor plan? And we then realized there's a much bigger opportunity when it comes to diagramming for banquet spaces. And we slowly moved there, and now we have a pretty robust diagramming solution for hospitality professionals.
Now who actually operates it? Does the person, is it the wedding planner, or is it the person whose wedding it is that they're actually able to use the tool?
So our goal is to, we've created a communication tool. We put it in the cloud, we let you give people access to it, so you have the operational kind of foundational elements like floor plans and tables, and then you can invite collaborators, whether it's your client or whether it's your colleagues, and they can all work off the same thing.
And in actuality, if you want to think about that, right, because it could be any number of people working off of it, so you're now selling and doing charity events and all kinds of organizers of different types of functions. I mean, they could go ahead and open up the seating plan to their guests, they buy a table, they decide who's going to sit where.
Right, so it's exactly right. So the idea of putting it in one place as opposed to faxing it, emailing it, floor plan version 3, draft 1, and all these funny file names, those days are gone. Everything's in the cloud, everything's very tablet ready, and you can just share with other people. So we let sales and catering teams actually focus on what they do best, which is throw great events and get more sales to the property.
Okay.
Not worry about this kind of stuff.
Now the company name is Social Tables.
Right.
So we were talking about this. So this isn't just about actually the planning of the tables.
Yeah.
It's actually connecting to the outside.
Right.
So you can open this up to your guests and people as well to create social connections for them, know who they're sitting with.
So the idea is that you, optionally, anybody planning an event, a meeting planner, a bride, a mitzvah mom, they can actually share that seating chart and invite their guests to see where they're seated beforehand. And we use the same technology for booths. So when you're doing a floor plan for an expo, you can see where all the booths are. You can upload an image and actually see information about the sales rep at that booth. So getting that intelligence before an event or a meeting is really, really important because we don't have that much time when we actually get there. So we try to maximize those connections.
Now you started out as a programmer.
I did.
So what gave you the idea to do this?
We're really going to go there?
You were attending a wedding and you wanted to know who you were seeing.
Yeah, I wanted to meet a nice Jewish girl at a wedding just a few years ago. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if I actually saw the seating chart of that wedding before I got there? And I had the idea, I started it, now we've moved since then, but that's still the core of the product.
But it was too late to use it for the wedding you were attending.
Yes, but I had a great wedding, and it was a great time nonetheless.
Right, so do you give away the software to all your friends who invite you to weddings?
I hate weddings.
Well, you hate weddings. Okay, but you're selling for weddings, right? So, well, that's where you started. Okay,
But yes, anybody who wants to use it, I know, no problem.
Okay, so we're here at the at a lodging technology show. So, but in reality, the industry is very large. So there's all kinds of venues. They're not always represented by lodging. So, and we work in the restaurant industry, the retail industry. So where else have you taken this outside of, let's say, the traditional hotel and banquet room?
Awesome question. And one of the things that I always like to say is the fact that this is just a tool that goes beyond just one vertical. So we've served, the State Department uses us to figure out where how state dinners are going to be laid out. We're used by sports stadiums. In the restaurant.
Were you involved when that couple was trying to figure out where they should sit at the White House?
I forget their name, but they snuck in.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. No, that was the executive office of the president. This is State Department. This will be this would be like John Kerry's dinners when he hosts prime ministers. So we've done sports arenas. We do museums, Holocaust Museum, the Whitney Museum, large museum. Actually, Wolf Trap, one of our customers. And in the restaurant business, we get a lot of interest from people who have small private dining areas. So if you have a, maybe capacity 100 plus of a private dining area, you can use us to set up that room and actually offer your guests an even more value through your full service offering by saying, hey, we now have guest list management tools, and you add on.
Well,
to
which, if you think about it, the retail industry has already done this, because they'll sit there and let you do your wedding gift list at multiple registries, and I think the whole draw there is that you're interacting with your guests, you're putting up what you want. In this case, it's the same thing. Even a year ago when I was planning that wedding, we're sitting down with the planner who's got to bring out his drawings and things like that. Then they've got to send it back and forth. You may have a middle person involved. And in my world, I would have been directly involved in that. It would have been a lot easier than doing all the lists and things we were doing. So
totally. They're getting more and more busy. We're seeing a ton of consolidation in the industry. People on site are expected to do more and more. This is the kind of technology that helps alleviate that.
Now, your company is doing more than just the planning. You're also doing things like the invites, or you're connecting with other services that are doing invites and doing the other parts of it as well?
So we don't necessarily do the invites per se. We work with companies that do them. We work with Eventbrite, for example, for registration. Sure. But at the end of the day, the most commonly used format is probably Excel spreadsheets for those things. But we do work with Eventbrite. We work with sales and catering companies like Reserve, Hotel Systems Pro, Abacus 21, Cateries, pretty big in the catering industry. So we work with a lot of those to plug in, because we realize that people want to modularize this.
So are we going to start seeing you also now show up outside of the hotel side at the restaurant events and things? Because, catering is a huge thing. A lot of restaurants are building in private space, and, it's just growing and growing, in that thing. And then, of course, colleges, universities, anybody who's doing those pieces.
Totally. So USC is a customer, Georgetown, Columbia University, all customers of ours, because they have events are a big part of their revenue generation. But relatedly, catering companies, when you have 4+ salespeople, you're doing hundreds of events a year. Some do 3,000, like Occasions Catering out in DC, one of our customers, and Windows, all of them.
Use them.
Yeah, they use us, and they do 3,000 events a year. They need software to actually plan all those, and the software that can actually work with any space, whether it's outdoors or whether it's indoors. We can work with that, so that's why they're choosing us for that solution.
Great. Now, you said you're a technology guy, a programmer.
Yep.
So your first time here at the show, have you walked around?
I have.
So what's the coolest thing you've seen here at the show besides your own booth?
That's a great question. So I think, first of all, I'm floored by the number of PMS systems out there. I didn't realize there were so many. And it's very interesting to me to see that kind of the push and pull in that. But as far as what I've seen, that's the coolest. We're by the Samsung booth, and they have this television that you can't even tell it's fake. It actually looks like you're looking into the ocean. So I think that's the coolest thing I've seen.
Great.
Not to mention toasters at Honeywell. Those, you gotta love a good toaster.
Well, you have a little bit of everything here, so it's a great opportunity to see what else is out there. Absolutely. To give you some more ideas.
Absolutely.
Great. So thank you very much. Thanks. Look forward to seeing you in DC.
The conversation.